not a single thing else. And I got this from a reverse osmosis filter. There's the filter, 3-in-1, regular filter, filters sediment, chlorine, things like that, and then the RO filter. And this pops right back on. This is powered with a regular 2-prong, 120 volts. Flushes out into the drain above the P-trap. Brings in water from the back over there with a adapter. And then that white hose there, that tubing goes up to the faucet. So pretty simple. This is pure water, clean. You hear it running. And that's on demand, meaning it doesn't have a tank. It pulls the water as soon as you turn on the faucet, cleans it, and then eventually will flush out the system and then drain the wastewater. This was pretty simple to install. Mostly needed an adapter back there. You'll need an adjustable wrench to put that on. I used the adapters that it came with. You might need an extra washer if you're going to use the 1/2 inch, which I needed. This was just use a 1/4 inch drill bit to drill into there, and then a regular screwdriver to tighten these screws. These are all push connect. You don't need any extra tools. It comes with little clips to prevent them coming out. Same with the back there. The water going in and out, either the flush or the clean water to the RO faucet, are all push connect. Easier to install than a whole house filter like I did in my other video. This will be much cleaner water. In fact, it's just pure water. It's nothing else. No fluoride, no chemicals, no sediment. And really no taste. It just tastes great. It just tastes like regular water. So that's it. I'm going to show you how to do it. It comes with a little quick installation guide, which isn't really going to tell you a whole lot, but tells you just the basics of it. Yeah, this is probably the hardest part of it. Installing the faucet through a new hole. So I had to drill with a stepper bit. You might need a stepper bit, or just size up, start from a small bit and then go up all the way to about 1/2 inch. And then this installs by hand underneath a washer nut. You may have different reasons for wanting pure water. I like to just have pure water without any fluoride or anything like that in it. You may have an RV where you have water coming in. So these are popular to install in an RV. You might have a well. You might have just bad water. You might have a filter that just keeps getting dirtier and dirtier and just have to keep replacing it. And this will prevent that, and you can just replace the filters from in there. And then for whatever your reason of installing it, it installs just in a regular cabinet right there. Pretty small. Doesn't take up much space. All you need is an electrical connection and then some drill bits to make a new hole, which you can cap afterwards if you don't have if you want to move it. So you can fast forward through different chapters, because if I start to ramble, if there's any particular part of the installation that you're stuck on, feel free to skip ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to show you the details of how to install this VonWater 600G. All right, let's get some fresh water. But what is reverse osmosis? And how do systems like the Von 600G actually work? In normal osmosis, water naturally flows through a semi-permeable membrane from the less concentrated side to the more concentrated side, trying to balance things out. Reverse osmosis reverses that process. By applying pressure, the system forces water the opposite way from the concentrated side through a microscopic membrane, leaving behind dissolved salts, metals, and other impurities. That's why the RO water comes out so pure. The membrane pores are so tiny they block almost everything except just water molecules. Compared to other filters like carbon filters or sediment filters, reverse osmosis goes much further. Carbon can remove chloride, improve taste. Sediment filters catch particles like sand or rust, but only RO actually removes dissolved contaminants at the molecular level. So when you hear about a system like the Von 600G, 600G refers to the flow capacity, gallons per day, showing how much purified water it can produce. More capacity means faster refills and more clean water on demand. This is the 600G VonWater Reverse Osmosis Water Filtration System. As you can see, it fits right under the sink and then filters water coming up and will eventually have its own faucet. It's meant to work alongside your regular faucet, where your regular faucet can still be used for the hot water and for cold water that you don't need filtered with a reverse osmosis. If you want to use it for filling up a pot for any other reason. And then you have your reverse osmosis pure water. Pure water, exactly nothing but H2O coming out of this faucet, which I can then use to fill coffee pots, put a cup directly under it, drink directly out of it, or whatever you have. I started out with a Brita, but my water here was so bad I had to put on a whole house filter that I showed you. And even with the basic filter, the water still tasted terrible. And that taste went through into the coffee and tea. So that was chlorine. Then when I got the carbon, it tasted much better. But if you don't want to go through the trouble of putting the whole house filter, you have your under sink. As you can see, it's about 14 inches tall and it's slim. It's only about 5 inches wide, and that will fit easily into this under sink cabinet. This is a common, I don't have an outlet, but I installed an outlet for the dishwasher. I don't really want to pull this out. Normally, if I had that dishwasher out, I could fit it easily. The plug, this is just your standard 2-prong plug right into one of those. You need about an inch clearance. But I'm just going to cut a big hole in there so I can reach in and plug it. Hopefully I can kind of put the system in there. Well, this cord is not exactly that long, but I'll see if I can reach under there and plug it. Only uses 80 watts. 80 watts is like an old incandescent light bulb. So you can easily run something like a dishwasher while this is plugged in and on. So you will have to do some modifications somewhere because you'll have a wastewater. What happens is the water comes in and it goes through 2 filters. This just pops right off. And you have these come out. This is the 3-in-1. So this will filter out that sediment and chlorine that I talked about earlier because it's an activated carbon block, and even tells you what it removes. So it removes large solids, organic matter, suspended solids. What you saw in my water was just a lot of dirt. I've seen it more reddish in my other house, which was indicative of rust. Whatever it is, you don't want to drink it. And you don't want it clogging up all your systems. So this is the actual reverse osmosis filter. It uses electricity and it takes everything out of the water. And what's left is nothing but pure water. And we'll have to discharge, like I said, the remainder somewhere. And all of these will be in tubing. So you have your water coming in, it does its work, spits out the wastewater into one of your pipes. It can either go through that with a saddle or into the floor and then into the saddle under there in one of your drain pipes. And these plug in just by turning, and this is locked and this just pops right back in. So what else we have here is some of these buttons, and they're actually lights. There should be lights here. This is a manual flush, and then buttons I can talk about a little bit. Comes with these parts, the tubing that I told you about. And what this is this will go on your regular water valve. It's just a 1/4 turn. This will go on top of in place of your regular water valve, and you'll have adapters. Find the right adapter somewhere around here. Adapters that you can then use your regular faucets. So like I said, so that's the hot water there. So I have my cold water there. You can drill into this, which they recommend, and they give you a little guide. It's a 1/2-inch hole. You can use a stepper bit, which I would almost certainly do. And what you do is you drill a very small hole, get a bit that can drill into metal, and you put masking tape here, drill a small hole, then use a stepper bit, and it steps step by step until 1/2-inch, deburr it, and then the actual water connection will be under the sink, and then this will be tightened by hand or use a tool like I've used in my other video. Those tools can then reach up, turn it, and then this will tighten and will match the stainless steel. So the tools you'll need are adjustable wrench. So the push connect, the way it works is it has these little clips here so that this doesn't get depressed, because what that does is it releases the teeth inside there. If you can look real close, those teeth are what holds the tubing in. So it just, as it says, as the name implies, you just push it in, and then those teeth hold it in place automatically. And then to get it out, you would have to press this down, which releases the teeth, and then pull it out by hand. After you push them all in, these little clips will be pushed into there and will prevent that from happening by mistake. Comes with these bags of the different size. You can cut these tubes to length, but make sure that it's square. It must be square so that it fits in all of these connections perfectly bottomed out and square and flat. And then again, these will bottom out, and then you'll put the clips. So this will be on the top, on the sink. This will be on the bottom. Again, the actual water connection is here. So this really just needs to be hand tight. Some kind of lighting. Most people don't have lights underneath their sink cabinets. This one runs on 6 AA batteries. Pretty handy. Husky, the cheap brand. You can obviously get a better one. I think I had a better one somewhere. Chargeable one or something like that. Or the good old shop lights. I'm a big fan of these headlamps as well. Personal protector gear. I used protect your knees, your back, loosening and tightening things that are above you. Most people have a Phillips screwdriver for the saddle, and you'll also need a 1/4-inch drill bit to drill into the drain pipes, P-traps, and it'd be nice to have it on the top. Obviously, it should go without saying, it should be above the trap. This will have a little foam washer, and then you'll tighten them down each side with the Phillips head screwdriver. These will have these little stoppers, these little plug things in there, and they just come right out. But these will be where the push connects go, and then, like I said, these things, as you can see, they kind of come up, and you'll put the clips under that so that it never depresses accidentally. And if you want to take the tube out for whatever reason, moving it or whatever, you'll take the clip out, and then you'll depress these, and then it'll release the teeth that are inside and pull up at the same time. A few other things that come with adapters. These adapter things, I put tape over there because that little clear translucent washer, I almost lost it, so it was easy to lose. 1/2 inch to male 3/8, and then male 1/2 inch to female 3/8. And this is a pressure regulator. I have tested my water pressure at I think exactly 60, if I recall. This is if the water pressure, as you can see, the gray part comes in, the blue comes out. This is a pressure regulator, so if the pressure ever exceeds 0.4 MPa, then the excessive pressure might affect the efficiency. So this is a pressure reducing valve. So to make sure it will never be more than 0.4 MPa. And I can show you all the different steps. Little container for water when you're taking off water connections under the sink. You'll turn the water off so there won't be water coming up. You can turn off the water for the whole house if you want, if you're able to get away with just turning off the water under the faucet. And then you install this over that. If you have a 1/2 inch, if you're lucky enough to have 1/2 inch coming up, male thread. But so this is the adapter where you have the 3/8 blue hose coming from here, and you'll have this 1/4 turn valve to turn it on and off. The washer that's going to make the watertight seal. And then that pipe dope makes for a nice, smooth. And if this leaks, then I'm going to have to take the whole thing apart and put on a better, larger washer. Because this washer is a very small, that's it, that's hand tightened. That's pretty tight. So that was pushed all the way square. I'm giving it a tug and it's not coming off, so hopefully that means this is also waterproof. If you're going to put your pressure regulator, it's real easy. You would just cut somewhere around here and push it right in. Make sure the arrow goes in the direction to the filter, away from where the water is coming into the house or coming in from the rest of the house. And then you put a clip here, because to get that off you would take the clip off and then depress this, and then it relieves those teeth in there that hold it. And you want to push it all the way in there so it gets nice and flat and square against that. Put the clip on, same thing over here. You push that in. They have these little markings just to let you know about how far you would push it in, about an inch or so. Push it in, put the clip on. Alright. Wasn't too bad. Got a little washer in there, make sure that's in there. Don't think that can be any more tighter than that. Just have to worry about that later. Alright, so that, as long as it's compressing the washer in there, it should be fine. The 3/8 hose going to my regular faucet. And that one first. Try them up because I'm able to see if you see any water coming out. Just about any of these connections can be tightened, including that one, if there's a leak. For the power connection, I would rather, it'd be really nice to have an outlet here. I don't. I did install one in for the dishwasher, and with 80 watts, this should run perfectly fine alongside the dishwasher running as well. Okay, so my power is going to be plugged into the wall. So I have a cord coming out here, and then I'm going to just, I'm going to put it up, suspended on one of these hooks somewhere high, so away from any water. So that's as safe as it can be. And for the drain, I said it comes with these saddles here, and that's where the gray 1/4 inch tube is going to go into that, poke out of here into a vertical part of the pipe. Would have been nice to have a fitting like this, and then some kind of reducer, and then to drain into it and not worry about any water coming out. But it does have a foam washer there, and for the vertical part it shouldn't really, I don't know for sure, but hope it doesn't leak when I drain these sinks. Alright, so went through a little bit. Alright, finally a free hand. Alright, well, as long as the clip is there. So the question is, will 1/2 inch suffice? It's actually 15 millimeters. It's actually like 0.59 inches or something like that. So, or the hole, they maybe not this. It's about 3/8 inch wide or something. So a 1/2 inch hole should be fine. Drill a 1/2 inch hole. I'm gonna use a stepper bit. Put a little bit of masking tape on it first, and then put that sticker on it. Drill it down step by step until there's a 1/2 inch hole. Deburr it. You can use a deburring tool. You can use sandpaper. And then there are two different parts. One will go a washer underneath, and then this will go washer underneath, and then there'll be a metal part on top. And then you just tighten the washer by hand. And then the white tubing goes up and then into the back of this, and this will be your water. A little bit of sandpaper on it. I use this deburring tool to help get some of the burrs, especially on the bottom of it. This is a little piece that's supposed to go on a handle, like a wooden handle for a file here. But I like to use it to push it in from the underside and just kind of turn it. So if you have something like this, you can get that. There's not much space to be able to put something like this back and forth, but there's really big burrs underneath there that have to get taken off. So this can fit without any issue. Now what I have to do is put the faucet on, which barely fits, but it does fit for the 1/2 inch hole. You hear that barely gets through there, but it does get through there. They said a 0.59 inch hole, but a 1/2 inch is fine. So I'm going to have it, I'm just going to aim it just like that, and then put this rubber one underneath. I don't think it's really that necessary. This one underneath, I wish it was a little stiffer because as you tighten it, it might bend up, but this will go on the underside of that, and it will be pushed on. This will go on the underside of that, the faucet, and it will be pushed on, and then a clip put on underneath. And then the tubing will then be pushed into that. When you push it in, with these little ones, it only goes in about 1/4 inch or so. So that's as far as that goes, and then you give it a little tug. What it has is teeth. There's teeth in there that can prevent it from pulling out. And water pressure actually helps to expand the tube in there, and then it'll just keep it in. Similar to shark bite, you can depress the teeth and then pull it out. If you can do that on all around it, as I just did there. To prevent that from happening, we'll put a little clips in there and it will never come out. Aimed correctly, pointing forward, and then I just hold it and tighten it. And then I'll put a clip on that, and then this goes in the other side. How much you need 2 hands, that actually pushed in quite a bit more. And then it seems to be much stronger connection, so always push it in all the way. And you saw the clip I put in it too. Okay, I cut them, push this in place, and I cut them about the length it seemed to be. So I cut them as square as I could for each one. I made sure to round it out with my pliers. It's all color coded, so as you can see, this one is more white. This is the going up to the faucet. This is going into the wastewater on the left, faucet on the right, blue in the middle. Just going to push them down and put the clips in. And finally, this one is going to go up by pump to the drain pipe. We'll turn it on. Instructions are a little bit unclear. We have the filters already in and locked in place. 3-in-1 and the RO. I'm going to plug it in, and it's supposed to go through a cycle for 30 seconds, and then you're supposed to run it for 30 minutes. What a disaster. Okay, so I didn't push it down far enough. You have to really push it down so it goes square. So let's plug it in and see what happens. Okay, plugged it in. These lights are supposed to come on. And now it's filling up. Now we check for leaks everywhere. We check for leaks at this thing. Well, that obviously pushed something out here. So it seems to be fine. I think that was the 30-second flush cycle. I keep looking at this expecting that's for the dishwasher. But this didn't seem to have any leaks, and it definitely flushed down in there, so that was fine. I didn't see any leaks back there either. Pushing water or air out. Okay, pulling water in. Water. And a cloudy looking water. Yep, definitely cleaning out the filters. You shouldn't drink that water yet. VonWater Reverse Osmosis filter. Okay, so this is with the faucet all the way open. The faucet's all the way open, so this is running continuously now. When I had it only half full, it's kind of going on and off. So this seems to be normal. I don't see any leaks anywhere. Water's coming out a little bit more clear already after only a few minutes. Just one more thing, instructions say to run this for a full 30 minutes. And the water's not supposed to be drinkable during that time, so just set a timer and flush the water.